But anyways, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I want to get into the Razzies and the Oscars, so now it's time for us to get into it. All right, I want to talk about the Razzies, and again, the Razzies are just quite a thing. You know, if you ever watched them before, they're really just a really shitty YouTube show now at this point. And what they, that's pretty much all it is. But it's fun because they do trash talk some of the movies that just didn't do that well. And the biggest ones that came out of the Razzies this year were, of course, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That one they just trashed on big time. They gave it worst picture, worst screen combo, worst screenplay, worst director, worst prequel, remake, ripoff, sequel. Yeah, so just swept the award ceremony with this.
And it really deserved it. It worked hard for those awards, and it really truly deserved every single one it got.
Put all the effort into taking a thing that went out for public domain and going, how can I cash in on this as quickly as humanly possible?
Yeah, and they did. And the director Rice Frank Waterfield, he got slammed to Field White. What a name too. Rice Frank Waterfield. Good for him. He just got trashed for this too. They tried to, again, it's just jumping on, like you're saying, the open domain, public domain stuff. We're going to have more Mickey Mouse stuff coming too. I imagine that will probably be just trashed. Yeah, they'll probably be trashed big time.
I know you had them on, but that's probably going to show up on there too.
Yeah, it probably will. It probably will. Unfortunately for them, but you're trying something, you're jumping on a bandwagon, something like that. They were the first people to make something, so it's good for them. It's like, but again, do we need it? We don't really need it. We just don't. But worst actor went to Jon Voight too for Mercy. Worst supporting actor went to Stallone for Expendables, which I like to call Expendables. And then then Megan Fox, she got 2 awards there, buddy.
She got
worst
2.
actress. Worst actors and worst supporting actress for Johnny and Clyde, which that looked horrible, everybody. I just couldn't watch it. And then for Expendables for best supporting as well. Yeah, it was her and Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh
dear Lord.
I've heard that. Yeah, I heard she was being abused the whole time that she was filming that too.
Which is a whole thing. They broke up after all that too, and yeah, it's probably just like a tragic thing to watch on screen. Did they?
They don't.
Well,
they
good for them.
Apart.
That's called love and misery, I guess. Something like that. But
maybe she can't. A lot of therapy.
I hope they did. Honestly, I'll put it out there. I hope that they're very happy. I hope they're not living in a bad relationship because
Didn't he almost shoot her?
Probably.
Well, it's a machine gun, so
yeah.
It's dangerous when you're dating a machine gun.
Yeah, look out,
Jake.
Sorry, I had to say it.
It was good. It was good.
Well, she did break up with 22 Michael. She had to get out of it.
Yeah, we'll see. There you go.
But how do we feel about the Razzies overall? Let's go to Jake first. Jake, how you feel about this? Do you think this makes sense that the one that wins the big awards, which actually kind of loses, is Winnie the Pooh because of how it's delved into this whole domain of like ripping off an IP-ness that has just been open to the public domain? Or do you think it just shouldn't have been trashed that hard?
I don't know. The idea of Winnie the Pooh is a little bit spooky to begin with. I mean, I know it's just like this bear that lives in the woods and loves honey, and this kid goes out there because he's trying to escape his home life. It's got a little bit of a weird vibe to it anyway. But if it's if the idea is filmed poorly, directed poorly, written poorly, then yeah, it deserves some unpopped popcorn. Look at that thing.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Terrifying.
Shazam got slammed too. It was nominated, and there's so many movies like that have been nominated. Exorcist was nominated.
It kind of looks like John Candy
next to each other.
It looks like John Candy. A little bit.
It's kind of like John Candy.
Shazam looks excited by Pooh. He's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, hey bud. Nice to see you,
man.
Yeah. We're on the same awards ceremony.
This is fucking great.
Wow, he's pretty happy about it.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah, that's like you see your buddy walk in the door at the bar. That's the look you give him.
They made some poor effects artist make that Pooh mask, and then they didn't pay them properly for it.
Oh yeah, geez, I believe it.
They just turned in what they had.
Portfolio.
Exchange for portfolio.
Jake, are you surprised that Expendables got slammed so
hard? Maybe a little bit. I watched the first one. I thought it was great. I haven't seen any of the subs. I haven't seen any of the ones since. But if it's the same movie over and over again, then yeah, it deserves a Razzie.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I think that's
Gotcha.
it. What's up, Ty? Good to see you, man. Yeah, that's the whole thing too. It is kind of the same deal over and over and over and over again. I think
it came
Stallone.
out. I didn't even know it was in
I
development.
didn't know there was a 4 at all. I thought 3
I
was
saw
when
them
they
on the list
stopped.
of winners. I was like, that sounds
Like,
fake.
what?
Right?
You're damn right.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I just really didn't want to. I mean, I saw the trailer. The trailer actually didn't look too bad, but then again, it's like, how many times can we do this and make it work? You know, and make it work. The Exorcist was really bad. I know. That's the whole thing. It got slammed. They made like $30 million. No, they made it for $30 million. They still made like $60 million, I think, or $70 million for that. So they made money off it, but overall, it's like barely made money, and they spent $400 million for the Exorcist franchise, and they're doing more. I mean, Jason Blum just came forward and said you're doing another one still. They're just trying to figure it out. I don't believe it. It's like it's just not doing.
No sequel for The Exorcist has ever been good and ever done well.
Yeah, they're trying. Are you shocked about these? Are you shocked about these Razzies, Lexi? Are you shocked by this lineup? Are you surprised these got hit so hard? And do you think that Megan Fox should have been nominated for an Oscar instead?
No, not at all. I mean, Blood and Honey, I think these IP movies, you know, it's a different time though. Like someone commented on the thing, like, oh, like, you know, remember when like Catwoman did and stuff, or like Freddy Got Fingered, or
Yeah,
you know, there was always this like kind of thing with the Razzies where they kind of went for like Hollywoodish kind of stuff, and it seems like we're at a point now with the Razzies where it's like, oh, the shit that's clearly shit. Like Blood and Honey was never going to be a good film, right? Does it deserve
No, never gonna be.
Like it was a Razzie on its
Look at
own.
him. Look at him.
It was already like the most unappealing idea. It was a stupid idea. I think Exorcist deserves a Razzie. I think a high budget film that comes out thinking, you know, an expectation like that, those are the ones you give Razzies to. I don't think like these
Indie
dump truck
films?
fires. Yeah, like remember that one that guy shot in that Disney park that I talked about on the
Escape from Tomorrow.
Yeah, like don't give that a Razzie. Like that was like it's just a
God, that
weird
was the worst
experiment.
fucking movie ever.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? But like, it's an experiment. It's not really like something you go on. I feel like this is an experiment. Like somebody gave up an IP or you know an IP, it became public domain, and somebody said, "Watch this." And so it's not really like an attempt at something. It was a cash grab, last minute. Like there was no relevance to what made. It didn't matter what they wrapped around it. It was always going to make some money back because just the pure concept of Winnie the Pooh horror movie, there you go, money's coming in. That's all it is.
Here we go.
It's just, and the same with this one.
Cash grab.
Like I said before, like the gentlemen that are working on, they would seem like very nice guys, but like it's another attempt at this new IP is dropping up. We're gonna make a horror movie on it. Every time a cartoon IP is gonna drop from here on out, somebody's gonna fucking go make a horror movie.
Absolutely.
On it. Because it's just about taking something that's from children and warping it, right? It's all about taking something cute and warping. It's all about taking the absurd and warping. It's just about like how can we take something that's existed in this form and warp it to another form and give it back to you as quick as possible to make as much money off of it in this moment while we've had that idea in our head, right? So we're all on the internet, we're all like, oh my God, let's all talk about it real quick. And then like shit it out. Right. And somebody did. And that guy who had the money in the moment to do it is the guy who's going to make the money back from it in that moment. So is that worth a Razzie, or is the people who said, let's make a new Exorcist movie the ones who deserve the Razzie more? I think the ones who made the Exorcist movie deserve the Razzie way more because they went and put way more money and way more time into the idea that this movie has any success. Like high level IPs, things like that. I think Moon, what's the Zack Snyder, he deserves one.
Rebel Moon. Yeah, he got it. And I know Doc Savage asked about the Meg 2. It was nominated for Worst Picture as well, the Meg 2 was. I actually liked the Meg 2. It was horrible. It's not a good movie, but it's hilarious. And they're walking like in the trench in the bottom of the ocean.
It's supposed to be bad. Like calling
it's okay for some movies to be bad. Some movies are meant to be bad.
I think Meg deserves one, and it wants it. You know,
right?
It's like I want that. Like some people make movies and they want those Razzies. They're like, I want this. Like that's our goal kind of thing. I don't know if
they're
Megan
shooting
Fox
for that.
Deserved it. I feel like Megan Fox is Hollywood's punching bag. I think she's one of the
she gets a rough go
deserve the shit that she is. she's in an abusive relationship and she's not in a good place in her life or her career, and she's allowing her career to diminish based on who she's with and her behavior. Is that okay? Am I justifying her behaviors? No, not necessarily, but also like she needs help and she needs someone to come in and probably help her.
Yeah.
So like instead of like, you know, belittling her and belittling this shit project that Machine Gun Kelly made and put her in, and basically as his girlfriend, she's just kind of like, okay, I have to be here because he's gonna make her do it. The guy's like I just said, put a gun to her. She's gonna do it, right? And if they're in this really toxic, abusive relationship, she loves him. She's going to support him no matter what idiotic idea he comes up with. This guy has been banned by more venues for his behavior than any fucking like performer out there. He cannot get like a insurance for performing, which is why so many don't have him, because he is so toxic as a performer that they can't get insurance for him. And I knew that
he didn't get a Razzie. His girlfriend, who has been Hollywood's punching bag for the last 20 years, did.
Yeah.
It's just unfair to Megan Fox to constantly just rip on her all the time. She doesn't deserve it, and it's really like...
That's a good point.
You're going to have a Courtney Love is what you're going to have. You're going to rip her apart until she's broken completely and falling apart in the streets, and then everybody's going to make fun of her and then wonder why she's, you know, spewing the stuff that she's spewing because we broke her. We broke her as a society. She's another Britney Spears.
I hope that doesn't happen to her. I really hope it does. And she seems like she kind of shakes it off. She seems like she kind of shakes it off a little bit. But then again, that's only a persona I put out there in the public, you know, and beyond that, who knows? Yeah. But the Razzies it's just interesting what they just attack people too. Giving her 2 awards, like, come on, guys. You know, it feels like they are kind of going after her. Rachel, does anything surprise you with this whole situation? Are you shocked by Pooh, a Blood and Honey being the big winner? I guess at this take home for the Razzies. It's a big winner.
I actually was really on board for it winning all these Razzies, and then Lexi's opinion changed my mind. I 100% agree that you have to have a big studio backing to be nominated for a Razzie. Leave the shitty indie films alone. Let people make shitty low budget films. B films exist for a reason. They always have. Let those exist. When a major studio makes a flop, makes something truly terrible, give that a Razzie.
Yeah, like Shazam.
Shazam. That deserves a Razzie right there.
Give
The first one was so good, and that second one was so bad. Yeah, he's an asshole. There's an actor
was nominated
that deserves an award. He's a fucking asshole. Apparently, he won't even have to work in the industry anymore because of how he behaved on that movie. And then you're gonna give it to her? Fuck that.
And he said a bunch of shit too right before it came out, ruining it, you know, like really ruined the box office as well. So you got to be careful what you say when you're an actor. And Megan Fox, Rachel, I mean, like, honestly, she has taken a lot of shit. She's been a punching bag, but I hope she'll be okay.
I hope she's okay. She's gone through a lot of shit in her career. She's had Machine Gun Kelly's not the first shitty man to come in and try to fuck with her career. So hopefully
Machine Gun Kelly,
she's able to kind of have a second act career. She's kind of starting to age out of the roles that she previously had. So hopefully there's going to be something for her in the future.
That's really funny.
Shazam.
That's great.
Shazam. Thanks, David Banner. That was pretty good.
That's amazing.
I did like Nicolas Cage's Dracula. That movie was kind of, but it was all right. Nick Cage was awesome. I still need to see Dream Scenario. I heard he was great in that too. I love Nick Cage.
Yeah, it looks excellent.
Yeah.
When he's good, he's so good. When he's bad, he's really fucking bad.
I know, right? It's like how you feeling today, Nick? You know, where are you at right now?
Where are you at in your career?
Where are you at? Are you desperate for money? Or are you having a good time?
Are we adaptation, or are we like snake eyes?
Yeah, in the cage or out the cage.
Last years, the unbearable weight of
Massive Talent,
or Massive Talent, or whatever it was. That was a great movie.
They were having fun, those two. Yeah. You could tell they're just having a good time hanging out, him and Pedro Pascal. It was awesome. It was a fun movie. But the Razzies are interesting because it does kind of just like rip on movies. And they didn't, again, I like the idea, Lexi, about how big budget stuff should get shit on more as opposed to this independent, like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be shit. It was meant to be shit. It wasn't meant to be a good movie. We knew it wasn't going to be a big blockbuster hit. Like we're talking, Jake's like that fucking mask. You're right, Jake. That mask sucks, you know? We know it is. And they're shooting the sequel now. They're shooting the sequel with Tigger is apparently a bigger part of it. And Tigger's going to be killing bitches more. So that's a whole thing.
I'll watch that.
There's a sequel.
There's a sequel coming, yeah.
Why?
Like just because Tigger on a rampage
Because the same
sounds
thing.
awesome.
Could be bouncing on people,
Yeah.
killing guys, like
Yeah.
slashing guys up. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not watching that. Are you kidding? It's stupid.
somebody's watching it.
Somebody will.
Blood and Honey 2 is coming. Maybe that'll be up for a Razzie, but then again, hopefully it's something that is like a big budget thing that they failed bad on, because that is a bigger thing. You're spending so much money for it. And like I said with The Exorcist, like, so that makes sense. They spent like $400 million on that franchise to buy it for Universal, and then
Well,
it's
it's
just
like,
like
what, the 6th Exorcist
Well-
movie or something like that? Leave it
Yeah.
alone.
And like that Shazam movie, that literally came, like the first movie was so good, and I was sitting around praising like that film, and I said, this is the movie that can save the DC franchise, and that second one literally tanked the whole franchise with like one blow. And you're like, damn, like,
Done.
okay, never mind, that's a Razzie worthy film right there. Something that
Yeah.
tanks a franchise in its second film. Whoa.
done. He probably thought Zachary Levi thought he was probably doing this for a long time, but again, a lot of shit
Absolutely.
happened. A lot of shit
ruined
went
that for
down
that
with
kid
him.
for sure. Like, you ruined that for that kid all day.
Oh yeah, that kid was great. The kids were the best part of those movies. The kids were awesome. Like his best friend, I loved him so much. He was great.
Oh,
With
yeah,
like
he was
the
great.
yeah, he was just awesome. But yeah, they did get smashed. But again, it was all messed up because James Gunn again was just demolishing and just ripping apart the whole DCU. So you were gonna be done with them anyways. Like there was no way anybody's gonna survive besides John Cena. I would say. Everybody else is just cutting room floor.